This one starts with a prologue. You see, her ex-husband used to beat the shit out of her on a daily basis. I gave her love, consistency, respect. But when she was drunk, she'd yell at me, "You're a pussy. You won't even hit me." Well, what woman wants to be hit in her relationship? Because I wouldn't hit her, of course, later in our marriage, she would get drunk and start to raise her hands to me. She'd try to swing on me. You know, I'm 185 pounds, 5'10", and I'm a 4th degree black belt, and I'm a black man in Del Oro County, a very red county in Northern California. I'm not even sure I would have made it to the jail. But she'd claim she was in love with me, but she'd only tell me she loved me when she was drunk. I used to be able to figure out how many drinks she'd have by the degree of abuse that she spewed my way. You know, 1 bottle in, and I mean a 5th. 1 bottle in and she loved me. 2 bottles, she'd swing on me and hurl insults. "You're an unemployed piece of shit." You know, I was going through a work slump. I'd been employed since I was 15 years old. And at this moment in time, I didn't have a job. You know, I'd been a CPS investigator for the neighboring county. But, you know, things happen. I won't go into that in this video. One night I came home and she was 3 bottles, maybe 4 bottles of vodka in. And of course, the insult started, raised her hands at me, took a swing at me. I did a sidestep, grabbed my phone, and went out to the back deck. I called her son, her firstborn, a 30-year-old grunge musician who lived in Seattle. Typically, he could talk her down. And as I was talking to him on the phone and explaining what went on, he says, "You know, it's okay. You know, we all know that you loved her and you tried to help her and that you were good for her, but she doesn't know that you were good for her." And we talked a little bit more, and I just encouraged him to call his mom, you know, and then she screamed from the house, "You hang up. You don't talk to my son." Wow, I couldn't believe it. He says, "I'll call her. I'll do what I can do." I said, okay. Maybe he'd call her and they'd talk and she'd settle down and go to bed and sleep it off. I was wrong. So I went back up to the house and tried the sliding door, and it was locked. We always slept with our window open because Northern California, it's fucking hot most of the time. Grabbed the window and it was locked too. And she whips the curtain back and she laughs at me. "Ah, ha, 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 ha. Do you think I'm a fool? Ha, ha, ha." And she was gone around the bend. So I went around to the front door, tried the front door. It was locked as well. Next thing you know, some credit cards are slid underneath the door. And I'm looking down. As I'm looking down, trying to figure out why these credit cards came out the front door. The door flies open. She throws out my duffel bag. It hits me in the chest. After my duffel bag, my car keys bounce off my forehead, and she slams the door. "Get!" she screams at me, just like I'm a dog, just like I'm my dog. "Get! You unemployed piece of shit, you pussy, get!" It didn't matter that I was now 3 weeks into a new job that was bringing home 80 grand a year, and I was supporting her and her 2 children, my 2 stepchildren, who also grew up in that abusive home with that wasted skin husband of hers, but none of that mattered. She wanted me gone, and she was gone. 3 bottles of vodka in, she had lost her damn mind. So I picked up the credit cards, my keys, my duffel. I got into my car and I drove away. I drove away from my farm, which I had built off of my dreams, our joint dreams, and drove into really an unknown future. I live alone now in a 4-bedroom apartment that I refer to as the monastery. I work as a crisis response counselor for Del Oro County. We're the ones the cops call when they need help. Sometimes memories are the ghosts that haunt you.